everyone, and welcome to the Arthur Murray Lifestyle Series. I'm Victoria Regan, the Global Ambassador for Arthur Murray International. We only have to mention 12 times United States rhythm champions, and everyone knows exactly who they are. Please welcome our featured guests and legends of the dance world, Bob Powers and Julia Gorchakova.
Hey Vicky, it's great to see you.
Hi Vicky, so nice to see you.
Thanks for having us.
Bob, tell us about that very special trip to Russia, your introduction, and how long did it take you both to realize this is the one?
So I got invited to go to Russia to do a mock competition. It was the American style team against the international style team. They wanted to introduce American style to Russia, and really it was right at the time when the wall was coming down. It was in '91, and so I went over with a group, and while I was over there, it dawned on me, I saw all these great, talented young Russian girls, and I thought, man, there's got to be a partner here for me. I mean, I had a partner, but she wasn't like the one, and so once I got there, that became my mission. And so we did two sets of competitions, one in Moscow, one in Leningrad at the time. And so they kept taking us to all these really formal events, and we said, hey, we just want to have a dance at a studio with the Russians. Can you set that up? And they did, and they happened to set it up with Julia's mom, who of course wanted Julia to be there. So we just went and had this general dance thing with the Russians, and we had about 3 or 4 dances. And as I'm leaving the place that night, the Russian guy who had set up the whole trip, Stanislav Popov, came over and he said, hey, I saw you dancing with this girl. He said, you should try her out for a partner. I said, well, I can't make that decision right now. I'm walking out the door. And he said, well, I'll sneak her in a hotel tomorrow. You stay behind. We'll have a secret practice in the basement, and we'll see what everybody thinks. And if everybody likes it, we'll sit down and talk and make arrangements. And so that's what happened. And we had the rehearsal. We had a couple judges watch and talk to them, and he translated for us, and I sat her down and I said, hey, listen, I'd really like you to come to America. And she said, well, what's my day going to be like? I said, well, we get up at 6 a.m. And she said, is that all I get to practice? I said, that's my girl, pack your bags.
Yeah, pretty much it. My mom had called me, and I was the only one who could speak a little bit of English, of course, couple of words here and there. And so I came over and I saw this handsome gentleman across the room. So I invited him to dance. And then Stanislav Popov approached me and he said, do you want to go to America? I'm like, yes, sounds like my country. So next thing I know, it took literally a month for me to get visa, which was unbelievable amount of time. Usually you have to wait a few months, maybe a year. He arranged it all for me so I can get it. We met in October. Yeah, I was here in November. So it was like a dream come true.
Julia, by the time you met Bob, he had already been, as mentioned, in the Arthur Murray lifestyle for quite a long time. But how did you adapt not only to a new culture and language, but to the Arthur Murray system of teaching and operating?
Well, Bob had a really good way of introducing me to that system.
So what we did was, I had a lot of judging jobs at the time. And so I would call people up and say, judging and coaching, and I'd call people up and say, hey, how would you like a free show? And everybody was a little skeptical at first. Well, what do you mean free show? And it was just my way of, one, introducing Julia to the company, people getting familiar with her, but a way for her to really learn the system and to be there and watch. And like I said, people were a little uncomfortable at first, but that's what we did. We did free shows, and I taught and she listened. And so that for about a year. And then after a year, we got so many bookings from that we really never looked back after that. And first I was just doing that on the side as we were really working in the Phoenix studio, but eventually we got enough work where we went off on our own, and that's really where our career took off.
And it was actually really nice to have a year to follow Bob around, to go to the studios. It's not only gave me a chance to learn the system, but also learn language, because really I did not really speak the language. So I was just listening to all the slang and to dancing vocabulary, and after a year I was able to speak and communicate a little bit better. And of course, the system here is so much different than Europe. In Europe, they teach a big group classes. Here, they teach one-on-one. So I was always surprised to see, that teachers paying so much attention to one of the students. But it's actually wonderful because it makes people feel so special.
Let's talk about your Arthur Murray family, AKA mentors, and the advice given to you from the onset.
So it's funny you say Arthur Murray family, because they really are a family to me. I mean, I feel like I kind of grew up in the company. I started when I was 17 years old, and I've always been with Arthur Murray. So I do refer to them as my family, and probably in particular, Jack and Roz DeBev, who I worked for so many years. They had such good training, such good business training, and created the atmosphere where I could get the dance training. And Jack's big thing was always, it's a dance business, meaning it's both things. It's dancing and it's business, and you can't dance forever at the level you're dancing at, so you better have business to back it up. And I always took that to heart. And Roz was that way too. And when you work there, you had to be a good teacher. You had to be, full on into your work. I mean, we would go to the US Championship and then get back and get into the studio like minutes before my first lesson, and then never speak a word about the competition because we wanted the focus to be on the students. And so it was such great training that way, and really helped to shape how I feel about the business. What I do outside is one thing, what I do inside the studio is another, and keep my focus on the students so that it's a good, healthy studio environment.
And, I have to say that Roz was always so supportive of our dancing. When I came to this country, I only had $50. That's all I had. That's all my mom could give me. So Roz actually paid for my first dress, which was to me billions of dollars. I had never seen that much money in my life. And when we won our first championship in 1993, when we came back to the studio, she made this nicest little banner across actually the whole wall saying Bob and Julia, United States champions. So she was very, very proud of us, and I do appreciate everything she has done for us. One of our biggest influence on our career was Rick Valenzuela. Even though he was our dance coach, however, he taught us to be really focused on everything you do at this time. So at the time he was coaching us, we was 100% into dancing. But once we retired, it was 100% our businesses. And Bob obviously has Arthur Murray Studio in Gilbert, and I have the dress business in Scottsdale, Arizona.
I mean, it's pretty exciting to imagine that you met in 1991 and just short of 2 years became the United States champions. What was that experience like, and are there any other highlights that you'd like to mention that even come close to that excitement?
Winning the title, yeah, I mean, that's probably one of the most exciting things in my life. I mean, it's something that you train for so many years, and I used to go out running every morning at 6 o'clock, and I would just, in my mind, hear that announcer saying, and now the new United States champion, and hear our names. And so doing that day after day after day, that was kind of like that carrot that got me out of bed in the morning, got me out running, got me to practice, and got me through those long days. And to hear that actually happen in real life after you've heard it in your head so many times was like one of the most exciting moments in my life. I mean, the only thing better than that, I think, was when my daughter was born, and maybe a couple of the shows that we got asked to dance in. One of them was in Japan. We got to dance for the Prince of Japan, Prince Mikasa. And that was a huge honor.
Hey, I can't add anything to it. I don't think there is anything more exciting than, I mean, all of my life, I was preparing for a championship. And when it finally happened, it didn't happen in Russia, but it did happen in America. It was probably the most, not probably, 100% the most exciting night of our lives.
Preparation for you two was more like that of Olympic champions. What did a day with Bob and Julia look like during those 12 competitive years?
It's really hard to maintain it. We won United States for 12 years. So the first championship was very, very exciting, but then you had to live up to that expectation every year. So every year we either added a ballet or yoga or some more running or some other extracurriculum activity. We took a hip hop classes to make sure every aspect of our dancing is evolving. So we don't stay the same, because if you stay the same, you never do. You either go down or you go up. So we wanted to make sure we was always on the climb up, even though that was one of the toughest challenges of our lives.
After 12 years of competitive dancing and winning came retirement. Bob, for you, it was studio ownership. Julia, for you, artistry and motion designs. And we have to mention Core Rhythms. Was that an easy transition?
Right after we retired, we did come up with our new program called Core Rhythms. And we took the essence of the Latin dancing and turned it into a training exercise videos, which was taught. We was actually teaching all over the country, actually Europe and Japan. It was very famous in Japan, but all of the Arthur Murray studios still to this day, a lot of them teaching that program. I think it's a fantastic program to stay in shape and learn how to dance.
It was really based on how we practiced in the morning, how we warmed up, got in shape. Yeah, I think it was an easy transition. I mean, when we retired, we were ready. We were done. We had danced as much as we wanted to, and we're ready for something new and a new challenge. And it just worked out that about that time that the studio here in Arizona in Mesa became available, and a franchisee from Florida, Kimberly Carroll, happened to have a relative here in town, and she came, saw the studio was available, and called me up and asked me if I'd partner with her. And I thought, man, that's just perfect, because having been out of management and running a studio for so long, you kind of lose that edge on that. I had the dancing to offer, and she had the business. So I thought, wow, that's a perfect combination. And once we get up and running, then we'll see what happens. And as it turned out, I ended up going off on my own, which worked out really well for both of us at the time. So it was just it was just the perfect time and the perfect merge from dance to business.
For me, it wasn't that simple of the decision. My parents came in 1996, and they didn't speak the language, so we wasn't sure how they can make money. So my mom would make me a dress, and I would sell it, and I'll give her the money. So all of a sudden I realized that I'm actually helping her to sew the dress for somebody else. So I said, okay, now we have to hire some people to help us, because at the time we were still traveling, we still was teaching, doing the competitions. So we start hiring people, and slowly but surely, well, before the COVID hit, I had about 20 people working for me, and we was going to every single Arthur Murray championship, and the crowd there is so great. I think what I took from the Arthur Murray training, how special they make people feel, and I want to give that kind of attention to each one of my clients. And I think that was a very good lesson from Roz. Whenever she talked to somebody, whenever she talked to a client, a student, that was her focus. And I try to repeat this experience for each one of my clients.
Although you're not traveling anymore, you're still involved with the training weekends that Arthur Murray International offers in Marlton and the coaching after the dance ramas. Do you still love that process? And give us a synopsis of what it was like creating the Gold Rhythm syllabus and videos.
I have to say, Arthur Murray does a great job providing the training at Marlton. How many levels they can teach, how many teachers they bring there. And two, that after every Superama and Worldorama, they give those lessons to teachers for free. The ability of take lessons from such a phenomenal group of dancers and don't pay a thing. And second, not only not pay a thing, but also get experience from that many teachers is absolutely amazing. Now, we did do a gold syllabus, and it was like going back into practice days. We got into fights, we got into arguments, we needed a third person to take us apart. So yes, I really enjoy that. I do enjoy practicing.
It's exciting to have your name on that, on the gold syllabus. I mean, that's one of our higher levels, and I consider that a big honor to be asked. And
yeah, and it was like a mini competition and mini performances when we was doing that, especially when we actually performing it on the camera. Our heart rate was up, we was dressed up, we was like on our best behavior, yes.
And that's as close I want to get to competitive dancing ever again.
the 8 counts of 8. Done.
The last question for you is, what does the Arthur Murray lifestyle mean to you?
I think the Arthur Murray lifestyle means what it means to me is it really is it's a lifestyle, and I think the best example was when we were doing core rhythms and I was doing the administrative work with that. For 2 years I was in a tiny little office, an 8x10 office, and I really welcomed it because it was so different than anything I had done. I'd always been, since 17, been in the dance business. And after 2 years, I realized how many things that I missed. I missed the way people dress, and the clients that we have come in are so upbeat, and many of our clients have great lives, and so it's exciting to hear what they do and where they go, and they're fun loving. I mean, they come in because they want to add something to their life, and then of course the exercise and the music and the competitions, and I mean, all that really is, it's a way of life to us, and for so many people they don't have any of that, and I missed that so much in that 2 years that I came back and dedicated myself to the lifestyle because I love what Arthur Murray brings into people's lives and what it's brought into my life.
To me, the biggest things at the competitions, the students don't just go dance and leave. They stand around at the competition. They cheer for other competitors. They cheer for their professional instructors at the professional competitions. And I think this is so important. It makes everybody feel very, very special.
And that doesn't happen anywhere else but Arthur Murray. It's not the way it happens at Arthur Murray, where everybody is so supportive of each other. It's an amazing thing to see.
We love our Arthur Murray family.
Bob and Julia, thank you very much for our chat. It's been a lot of fun and very inspirational. Your technique and style are timeless. You have made the seemingly impossible dream possible. I hope to see you both very soon again, but in person. Thank you to everyone for watching the Lifestyle series, and I also hope to see all of you in person very soon.